Victor Adewale stood on the balcony of his sprawling mansion, sipping champagne as the city lights twinkled below. The scent of expensive cigars and grilled steaks filled the night air. In the background, a live band played soft jazz, blending perfectly with the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. Guests filled every corner of his estate, politicians whispering deals in dark corners, celebrities posing for pictures, and business moguls eager to be in his good graces. Victor was not just a businessman. He was a king in his own right. "Victor, you've done it again," a senator said, patting him on the back. "Another successful deal closed, another fortune made. What's your secret?" Victor smiled, the confidence in his eyes shining brighter than the diamond watch on his wrist. "Calculated risks, Senator. Always calculated risks." His wife, Aurora, walked over in a flowing silver gown, a vision of grace. "Darling, everyone is waiting for your speech." He kissed her hand and stepped forward. The crowd went silent. "To success," he said, raising his glass, "and to a future even brighter than tonight." Cheers erupted. Fireworks lit the sky. Victor's heart swelled with pride. Nothing could shake him. Nothing could go wrong. But as the last firework fizzled into the night, a man in a dark suit, standing at the far end of the garden, watched Victor with a cold, calculating stare. The stranger slipped away before anyone noticed. Victor never saw him, and he would regret that. 2 weeks after the lavish birthday party, Victor was back in his office, seated behind a desk that gleamed like polished gold. The city skyline stretched out beyond the glass walls, a constant reminder of the empire he had built with his bare hands. A knock on the door broke his concentration. "Come in," he said. A tall man in a dark suit entered, his presence commanding, his eyes sharp. Victor recognized him from the party, though he hadn't been introduced. "My name is Mr. Marcus," the man said smoothly. "I represent a group of international investors, interested in a partnership with you." Victor leaned back, intrigued. "What kind of partnership?" Marcus slid a leather folder across the table. Inside were documents outlining a high-yield offshore investment in oil. Exploration, returns tripled in 6 months, backed by government contracts. Victor raised a brow. Triple returns in 6 months? That sounds ambitious. Marcus smiled thinly. Ambitious, yes, but not impossible. Others have already joined in. This is an exclusive opportunity. Mr. Adewale, I chose you because of your reputation. For the next hour, Marcus spoke of figures, guarantees, and success stories. The deal seemed flawless. No risk, only profit. Victor's instincts hesitated for a second, but the lure of multiplying his fortune drowned out the warning bells. That night, he told Aurora about it. "Victor, are you sure about this?" "It sounds too good to be true," she said nervously. He kissed her forehead. "Trust me, Ada. I know a golden deal when I see one." The next morning, Victor signed the agreement and transferred a massive portion of his assets into the investment. As Marcus left the office, he made a call, his voice low and menacing. "It's done. The lion has taken the bait." 3 months later, Victor sat in his office, waiting for news of the first returns. Instead, he received a single email with 3 words. "The account is empty." His heart pounded. He dialed Marcus's number, disconnected. He called the foreign partners, no response. Panic clawed at his chest as he realized the company never existed. Suddenly, his phone buzzed again. A text message appeared on the screen from an unknown number. "Didn't I warn you? Now watch everything burn." Victor's hands trembled as the office door burst open. His lawyer, pale and frantic, entered. "Victor, the banks have frozen your accounts. Creditors are coming after everything. This is bad. Very bad." The walls of his empire were beginning to crumble, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. And somewhere in the shadows, someone was watching, smiling. The next days felt like a storm swallowing Victor's world. Every call he made to recover the lost funds led to dead ends. The partners had vanished. The company was untraceable, and the name Marcus seemed to have been wiped from existence. Soon after, the banks came knocking. One morning, a fleet of black SUVs pulled up outside his office. Men in suits, accompanied by legal officers, entered with court orders. Mr. Adewale, one of them said coldly, as per the judgment, your assets are being repossessed due to defaulted loans and unpaid debts. Victor's voice cracked. You can't do this. I just need time to. You had time, the officer interrupted. Now, everything belongs to the bank. In a matter of days, the cars were towed, the offer sealed, and his business accounts drained. Headlines screamed across tabloids. Billionaire Victor Adewale declared insolvent. From riches to rags, the fall of a business tycoon. The final blow came when agents arrived at his mansion. Neighbors watched as workers loaded furniture, art, and personal belongings into trucks. ADEMOYE stood by the staircase, clutching their children's hands, tears streaming down her face. Victor, what's happening? Do something. She pleaded. But Victor had nothing left to give. That night, under a heavy rain, they were evicted from the mansion. They spent the night in a cheap motel. ADEMOYE sat on the bed, staring at him with eyes that no longer held love. I can't live like this, she said coldly. You've dragged us into hell. Victor's voice trembled. ADEMOYE, please. I'll fix this. I swear I'll. But she had already turned away, packing her bag. At dawn, she left with the children, leaving only a note. I need to protect my children from this misery. Goodbye. Victor wandered the streets like a ghost. Friends who once called him brother ignored his messages. Former business partners crossed the road when they saw him. Hunger became his new companion, and the walls of his tiny rented room felt like a prison. One rainy night, soaked to the bone, Victor sat under a bridge. He stared at the rushing water below, thoughts of ending it all swirling in his mind. As he stood, ready to take a step toward the edge, a voice called out from behind. Sir, is that really you? Victor froze. He turned around slowly. A young man stood there, holding an umbrella, his eyes wide with recognition. You saved my life years ago, the man said, his voice trembling. Do you remember me? Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the young man's face. It was Chinedu. The rain fell harder, drumming on the metal bridge as Victor stared at the young man before him. Chinedu. Victor's voice cracked. I remember you. The boy who needed surgery. Years ago. Chinedu nodded, stepping closer to shield him with the umbrella. Yes, sir. You paid for my treatment when I was a nobody. You saved my life. I've been looking for you for months, but no one knew where you were. Tears mingled with the rain on Victor's face. You shouldn't see me like this. I'm nothing now. Chinedu placed a firm hand on his shoulder. You're not nothing. You saved me once. Let me save you now. That night, Chinedu took Victor to his modest apartment. For the first time in months, Victor slept on a real bed, ate a hot meal, and felt the warmth of kindness. Over the next few days, Chinedu told him how he had become a successful tech entrepreneur, owning a fast-growing software company. Sir, I owe everything I have to you, Chinedu said one evening. You gave me a chance when no one else would. Now, let me give you the same chance. Victor's eyes lit up with a spark he thought was long dead. You'd really help me rebuild. Chinedu smiled. Not just rebuild. We'll rise higher than before. While Victor began slowly regaining his confidence, dark forces were still at play. One night, as he checked old emails, he stumbled upon a forwarded message that had been buried in his spam folder. It was from an anonymous account. The message read, You lost everything because someone close to you wanted it that way. Attached was a blurry photo of Marcus shaking hands with, a familiar face. Victor's heart nearly stopped. It was his former business partner, Chief Bamadil, the man he trusted like a brother, the one who had first introduced Marcus to him. Rage boiled inside Victor. He remembered the subtle warnings, the way Bamadil had insisted on the deal, then disappeared when things went south. The betrayal cut deeper than any loss. He confronted an old friend who still answered his calls. Yes, Victor, the friend said in a trembling voice. Bamadil set you up. He partnered with Marcus, split the stolen money, and even spread rumors to ruin your reputation. They wanted you out of the way. Victor clenched his fists. And ADEMOYE. Did she know? The friend hesitated. I heard whispers. Bamideel was there for her after she left you. Victor's chest tightened, his breath ragged. The betrayal wasn't just from his partner. It was from the woman he once called his wife. That night, Victor stood by the window of Chinedu's apartment, staring into the darkness. He had lost everything: wealth, family, friends, because of the greed of those he trusted. But something inside him shifted. He would not die a broken man. He would rise. And when he did, they would regret ever crossing him. As he whispered to himself, the city lights flickered in the distance, almost as if answering his vow. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. When he answered, a distorted voice spoke. Victor Adewale, stop digging, or you'll lose more than you already have. The line went dead. Victor tightened his grip on the phone, his jaw set. Someone still wanted to destroy him. But this time, he was ready to fight back. Though Chinedu's home gave Victor comfort, memories of his nights under the bridge still haunted him. He could not sleep without hearing the echo of raindrops against cold concrete, nor could he eat without remembering the taste of hunger. Those scars became his fuel. Sir, Chinedu said one morning over breakfast, I've been thinking. You have real estate knowledge, I have tech. Together, we can build something new. Not like before, better, stronger. Victor looked up, his eyes burning with determination. Yes, but we must move carefully. They are watching me. Whoever sent that threat, they don't want me to rise again. Later that week, Victor received an unexpected invitation to a business networking event. I don't trust this, Chinedu warned. Neither do I, Victor replied. But sometimes, to defeat an enemy, you must walk into their den. At the event, Victor noticed faces he hadn't seen since his fall. Former associates who now pretended he didn't exist. And then, standing by the bar, smiling smugly, was Chief Bamideel. Victor, Bamideel said with false warmth, extending his hand. You look alive. I thought you'd be long gone by now. Victor shook his hand but leaned closer. Enjoy your moment, Bamideel. It won't last. Bamideel smirked, whispering, walk away from this fight. You don't know the people you're messing with. They don't just ruin reputations, they end lives. As Victor walked away, he caught a glimpse of a figure in a dark suit watching him from the balcony. Marcus. Alive. Untouched. Dangerous. 2 nights later, as Victor and Chinedu drove back from a meeting with potential investors, a black SUV began tailing them. Sir, that car. Chinedu muttered, gripping the wheel.